Russia recently announced that it has successfully tested the missile called the 9M730 Burevestnik, also known by NATO as Skyfall. Russia's President Vladimir Putin appeared in military fatigues and stated that the missile had completed a major trial phase. According to Russia's top military officer, Valery Gerasimov, the missile flew for about 15 hours and covered about 14,000 kilometers, 8,700 miles. Immediately after the test, Russia held large drills involving its nuclear forces, showing off readiness across land, sea, and air systems. The timing of the test is noteworthy, as the country's diplomatic relations with the United States are currently strained, and its Western partners have introduced fresh sanctions against Russia. Through Burevestnik's test, Russia's message is clear that it will not be coerced into concessions, particularly in the face of the war in Ukraine. Russia says it developed the Burevestnik to counter what it sees as threats to its nuclear deterrence. When the US withdrew from the 1972 Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty in 2001 and when NATO expanded eastward, Russia viewed those moves as undermining its ability to be safe. President Putin has frequently described the missile as evidence that Russia has regained strategic balance, responding to Western missile defense efforts. According to Russian military experts, the Burevestnik is intended to follow up a first strike, destroying any remaining enemy command centers, power grids, and industry that survived the initial attack. The missile's formal designation is 9M730 Burevestnik, meaning storm petrel in Russian. The key innovation is that it is nuclear-powered as well as nuclear-capable, meaning it carries a nuclear warhead or warheads and uses a small nuclear reactor for propulsion. Unlike a conventional cruise missile that uses fuel and has limited range, the nuclear engine allows for much longer flight durations, theoretically days, and potentially a virtually unlimited range. It reportedly can fly at very low altitude, about 50 to 100 meters above ground, which makes detection harder. Analysts say the theoretical maximum range may go up to 20,000 kilometers, 12,400 miles. For example, during the test, Russia claimed 14,000 kilometers in 15 hours, which signifies intercontinental reach. The engine works by drawing in air, heating it via the reactor, and expelling it to generate thrust. While some might question its undetectability due to its subsonic speed and long flight time, but from Russia's view, its unpredictable trajectory and low-altitude flight make it very difficult to intercept. The project has had a troubled history. It began publicly in March 2018 when Putin first announced the weapon. Prior to that, testing had reportedly started around 2016. Among the serious incidents, in 2019, an explosion at a test site near the White Sea killed at least 5 nuclear engineers and caused a radiation leak. Russia later awarded state honors to the widows of the deceased engineers. Despite setbacks, according to the US-based non-profit Nuclear Threat Initiative, the missile had at least 13 known tests with only 2 partial successes. More recently, satellite imagery in 2024 indicated construction of a likely deployment site near the Vologda 20 facility north of Moscow. Russia sees the Burevestnik as a follow-on weapon after its land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles hit an adversary's missile defense systems. Then Burevestniks would mop up targets that remain, like command centers, power plants, and critical industrial nodes. Putin and Russian military officials say the missile will be integrated into Russia's strategic arsenal and that infrastructure will now be built for deployment. Because the missile's flight path is claimed to be unpredictable and it can fly for a very long time at low altitude, Russia says it will be extremely hard for any defense shield to stop it. For countries opposed to Russia, the Burevestnik raises serious concerns. If it is operational, then any missile defense system might be circumvented by its long flight path and low altitude profile. That undermines the idea that existing defenses are sufficient. For nations allied with the United States and NATO, this means the strategic balance may shift and adversaries could be at greater risk than previously believed.